A very good morning, Mark. Here it is Tuesday, March the 17th, 7:50 a.m. Eastern, which is 11:50 a.m. GMT. US session about to get underway. Let's have a look how the markets are shaping up. Starting on the dollar index, a second red candlestick. The week started on a different note or different picture yesterday, with the US dollar being sold off after such a strong rally over the past 2 weeks, particularly last week. Yesterday we saw the sell-off, and today again, red candlestick. I've got support at 99.42. I've got resistance at 99.87, and I do have a third successive lower high at this point. We'll see whether that can be maintained now that the US session's underway. If sellers continue with the sell-off and test this support level and look down below this 99.42. We have seen a lot of turnarounds through the Asian European session once the US session gets underway, either from strong to weak or weak to strong. We'll see whether that materializes today, and if buyers do step in for US dollar and bounce up off the support level and look back up to the 99.87 and back to that 100 level. But for the second consecutive day and to start the week, weak US dollar at this point. Let's have a look and see how the S&P is shaping up. Futures market for now, still over an hour and a half until Wall Street opens up. There you see small red candlestick. However, I can see a wick at the bottom of the candlestick. So there has been a sell-off. US equity sold off in the futures market from resistance at 6,751 down to support at 6,715. But buyers have stepped in since then. That's why you see the wick left behind here. A continuation of yesterday's demand for US equities would see buyers testing this 6,751 and looking up at the 6,800 level. We'll see how that plays out now that the US session is underway and once Wall Street gets opened up. Gold sitting just like yesterday, very, very flat still. Got support 4,986, just below that 5,000 level. Got resistance at 5,040, and gold trading this leg lower since yesterday, but not really making much of a move in either direction. Trend is certainly still down, and little demand for gold and gold's safe haven status right now. Buyers will look up at this 5,000 level as being pivotal. We'll look to test, break above, maintain above the 5,000, look up at probably the 5,100 as being the first realistic target on the upside, where sellers will look below the 5,000 level and look to extend below yesterday and today's low point. Let's have a look at Brent oil. Uptrend very much still in place. Nervous oil market, lots of volatility. I've got support just over the 100 level, 101.78. Bounced up off that level. I've got resistance at 104.96, and now sitting in that same range, just slightly above that 100 mark for now. Buyers will look to test resistance, get higher. Yesterday's high 106, perhaps push even higher depending on the rhetoric and what we see transpire and new developments out of the region. Sellers will look below that 100 level, but for now looks pretty comfortable oil sitting around that 100 mark. Bitcoin, which has had a nice run, certainly the whole of last week. Yesterday, a nice push higher as well. Closed yesterday at almost 75,000. Red candlestick today, so far unable to push high, did push slightly higher, but been unable to maintain. I've got resistance at 75.9 thousand. I've got support at 73.6 thousand. roughly a $3 range for now. We'll see if sellers can or give up more of the gains from yesterday and test this downside, the support on the downside, and look back down to the 70,000 level. Alternatively, a continuation of what we have seen, and even though today's candle is red, it is a higher high and a higher low. We'll see whether buyers can maintain, should I say, this push higher and the demand for Bitcoin, and buyers look up at this 76,000 or higher. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I'll see you at the end of day.